Okay, hello. Welcome to the quarterfinals. And we're gonna have fiaee versus khaurege here in the losers bracket. Bans from the players, let's see, GT1 and HardRock1 from fiaee. And it's gonna be Nomad6 and HardRock3 from khaurege. And we'll see what is going to be the first pick here from fiaee. Having banned 2 aim maps. Maybe just avoiding that skill set for now. khaurege did not actually play a match last round, so not sure how they're going to perform on this star rating. Especially because last round was a pretty big spike, so this round going to be quite a bit more difficult than the last match that they've played. Going to be Nomad 2 pick out of fiaee first. This remix is epic. Map's really cool too. It's gonna be mostly flow aim, 160 BPM. Mostly standard flow patterns, but there are going to be some more kind of tech stream oriented patterns as well, and some very spaced verses. As part of this flow aim challenge for this week, map is I want to say 7.4 stars or something, so it's going to be fairly difficult. We'll see who's able to combo through these hard sections better. Alright, here we go. First match of the quarterfinals. Oh, I should have told them to switch slots, my bad. So it's going to be fiaee on the right for this map, khaurege on the left. And fiaee did drop in the very first pattern, bit of a tricky cut stream, but we'll probably be recovering without much issue. khaurege with a slider break as we get into this first difficult section here. And fiaee is on that recovery combo, as mentioned, hitting through these cut streams and spaced bursts. Does finally miss on that really big one before the slow section, but did end up taking the lead back for a second there. khaurege did hit that pattern, very impressive, so going to be taking the lead back here with a combo advantage of about 150. But is going to break there. Yeah, so pretty tough map. You can pretty much break on any of these space patterns. It's only about 2.5 minutes, so here we go into the second half of the map. fiaee on this 350 recovery combo is going to be pushing this lead as we get into this next hard section. Does break right before then. khaurege holding through that build-up is going to be taking this one back for now. See how long they can hold this. And actually hits that. Wow, both players hit that. khaurege does break right after. It only has about 30k score lead as we get into the ending here. fiaee does drop though right before they're able to take the lead back. A couple other chain misses. Looks like it's going to be a breakpoint right to start the match. Oh my god. Both players hit that pattern as well. So that's going to be a breakpoint to get started here. Very impressive score from khaurege. hit pretty much all of the really spaced patterns. Broke on some of the smaller patterns, but able to hold a 98.4% on that, which is definitely very impressive. Khaurege gonna go for No Mod 3 next. So this is an alt map that was actually a bit of a edit, a bit of a remap from TFGE. So shoutouts to him. Thank you for working on this map. It's 140 BPM, also a pretty short map, and it is going to feature some of the similar skill sets that we just saw, but more of a focus on the aim control rather than spaced patterns. But this map is going to be a pretty big test of who can hold through the ending, as that's by far the most difficult section of the map. Breaks can happen in this first section of the map, first half I guess, but we're mostly going to be expecting players to be holding until the ending spike. There are a couple things that can trip you up in this easier section. That's one of them. fiaee is going to drop first. Khaurege is going to trade that out immediately afterwards, so not a big deal all around. Okay, with another break, slider break. So Khaurege is going to take a small lead here as we get into... misaims on that. But if anyone gets tripped up by the slider stream, it's going to be Khaurege. fiaee almost breaks on the slow slider, but is able to save it. So going to be evening out that score as we get into the ending, and things are about to get crazy. Khaurege, the first one to drop. fiaee needs to hold onto this for just a little bit longer to secure this point. And is doing so far. Finally does break, but has built up about a 20k lead here. And this ending just keeps going. It is non-stop. Both players managed fairly well, but fiaee was able to hold a little bit stronger. They're going to be taking a breakpoint right back. Five misses from fiaee versus the 8 of Khaurege. Pretty solid performances there. Definitely a hard map to get a strong score on. Going to be an immediate No Mod 4 pick from fiaee. This is Party People, or no, not Party People, Magic People, sorry, Voodoo People. So this is our slider aim slot, or aim slash slider slot. So pretty heavy on the aim. Only BPM, the BPM is only 174, so not too fast, but spacing definitely going to be a bit of a struggle. We're probably going to see plenty of slider breaks from aim, like jumping slider jumps, sorry. But yeah, pretty similar to the No Mod 4s of past weeks. This is a pretty chill intro, so we'll just be waiting until the map picks up, as both players are going to be building up this early combo. Twinning on the act so far. We're about to see that change though. Getting to the first slider jumps here. Khaurege is going to be the first one to find that slider break. Another break from Khaurege. And fiaee is going to be holding a pretty strong 99 FC through that first section of the map. Making it to the slow section is going to give them a huge boost in this score lead. Khaurege going to be trying to recover here and hope for a break out of fiaee in the next section. But that score lead over 100,000 already. Going to be tough to take this back. A lot of downtime here. So anyone who can hold through that first section is going to have a big advantage. And fiaee finally drops, but Khaurege trades it out immediately afterwards, so that is going to be fiaee taking their own pick here. Just not enough time for Khaurege to take this back. No combo to speak of because of that traded miss. Even with that break from fiaee. Not going to be nearly enough here. Khaurege finally drops that combo, looking like they were about to see the entire end of the map. So still pretty impressive score, but fiaee going to be taking that one with a 1k combo, 650k score. Oh, I keep forgetting to switch their slots. Just completely left my mind after the first map. Okay, that should be good now, and it's gonna be DT2 out of Khaurege. This is our tapping flow aim map, but of course in the fashion of this tournament, it's only going to be 188 BPM. But this map is pretty tapping heavy. Definitely more of a stamina map than nearly all of the maps we've had so far, I think. And there's also some tricky flow aim to this. We'll see who's prepared for, who's prepared to get their tapping on. This is a fairly long map as well, Doomsday being a full-length map, but having a bunch of lower diffs as well. So, should be about 3 minutes with DT applied. So whoever's got that consistency and tapping is going to probably come out ahead here. Khaurege did find a very early break, but not going to matter. As said, this is a pretty long map. Yeah, some of these flow patterns are pretty weird. Khaurege does find a slider break and a miss there. As we get into this first kiai, it's going to be a traded miss on both sides. fiaee with the next break. It's going to give Khaurege a chance here, as long as they can hold on throughout these space doubles. And he does. So actually, lead's going to go back over to Khaurege as we get into this next section. fiaee breaking a couple more times. Okay, so we got about a 300 combo lead for Khaurege here as we get into the second half of the map. fiaee with another break. Khaurege really holding on strong here as soon as I say that. Does finally break at 500 combo, but not before securing about a 50-60k score lead here. And with that traded break from fiaee, they're both completely even on combo. It's going to be it's definitely possible for fiaee to come back in this one, but we'll have to see how they do on this ending. And Khaurege's first one to drop. fiaee still holding on, but does trade it out soon afterwards. That's going to probably turn the point over to Khaurege. And I should fix the score actually, since they're on the right sides now. So with this is going to tie up the match at 2-2. I don't think we're gonna get any nasty surprises here. Khaurege actually hit that. Wow. Very solid score. And yeah, that's going to be tying up the match at 2-2 as we get through this little ending here. Only 5 misses. Very impressive. That's a tough map. Alright, we're going to get Hard Rock 4 out next from fiaee. This is a bit of a mixed skill set slider. It's flow, aim, hard rock. Some control patterns, some cut streams. Definitely easier to aim compared to the No Mod 4. But, I mean, it's still there. We can still see some slider breaks on the slider jumps. As well as just the following the slider ends can be pretty difficult in this map. It's just a slightly more control-focused map compared to the No Mod 4, slightly less on the aim. Khaurege is going to be the first one to drop. That was a slider break, maybe misaimed on that slider head. As we get into these little cut bursts. Both players managing just fine on those. fiaee with this first half FC and a little bit better act is going to be pulling ahead here, but Khaurege has that big recovery. Anything can change here as we get into the second hard part. And fiaee is actually going to drop right before we get into it, so Khaurege has a chance once again to take this back. Bit of an unusual break from fiaee, I have to say. Now these cut bursts are a little bit harder to aim. You can't just snap directly onto the two notes, and we do see a double break out of both players, so that is going to be an advantage here for Khaurege. 40k in the lead as we get into the ending. See if anyone trips up on these flow patterns, and it's actually going to be a double break once again. Plenty of breaks coming out of both players, having a little bit of difficulty with the ending spike here. But it looks like it's going to be Khaurege to take a breakpoint with a 500k score. Beating out fiaee by just under 40k. Pretty close point there. fiaee with a 3 miss. A couple of slider breaks in there though. But impressive score nonetheless. Just was not quite enough to take that point. I think it was a bit of an unfortunate break before getting into that second kiai that may have decided that one. So with that breakpoint, Khaurege does have the chance to go up or 2 here, but we'll see if it stays even, depending on how this next map goes, and it's going to be Nomad 1. This is Summer Fever, very well-known map. 240 awkward aim patterns, mapped by Camo. This is the longest map in the pool outside of Tiebreaker, a little bit longer than that DT2. So going to be a pretty significant consistency test on this kind of aim. So very frequent angle and spacing changes, of course. And we're going to see an early break out of fiaee. Shouldn't be too much of a lead here from Khaurege, but we'll see how long this 100 combo lead is going to last. And Khaurege with a very unfortunate break right before we get into this first kiai. fiaee gonna trade that back though, so that lead is going to stay in Khaurege's favor by about 15k. Let's hit a couple more misses there. Both players trading out some breaks. This is a pretty difficult map. Not too surprising, I guess. Well, I guess you just can't blame the players for breaking on some of these difficult patterns. This map just does not let up at any moment. Even these slow sections can catch you off guard. But as the dust settles a little bit, we see that fiaee with about 200 combo lead here as we get into the second kiai is going to finally take that score lead back for the moment. but we'll see if they break during this second kiai. Both players, no breaks for quite some time. They're locking in. Never mind. I'm sorry. It's going to drop, giving khaurege the lead back as it swings over in just a second. On this 400 recovery combo, khaurege has a very clear opportunity to finally go up in this match. Both players have been within less than one break point away from each other this whole match. And fiaee with a break right before the last kiai. That was crucial. Needed any combo that they could scrape together into this ending in hopes that khaurege would drop this combo, and he finally does, but that score lead at 50k now, it's not going to budge, I think, for the rest of this map, especially with that break from fiaee. khaurege going to be taking a definitive 1 breakpoint lead for the first time in this match. Definitely not having any significant trouble on a pool, on this pool, sorry. Despite not having played the round of 16 pool, khaurege looking quite strong today, putting up some very solid scores. Going to be a little bit of a longer pick here as fiaee takes a bit of a break. And we'll just jam out a little bit to this song. Looking at the remaining maps here, we've got 2 precision maps left in No Mod 5 and Hard Rock 2. Both of them pretty heavy on the aim, as precision maps should be. And then, actually, I'm sorry, we've actually got 3 precision maps, because there is one in DT3 as well. That one's kind of a mixed skill set, due to it being AR7 DT, so you have that AR9 density reading, as well as having it on CS6. It's got some control patterns and some aim patterns. So more of a complex map, I think, compared to No Mod 5 and Hard Rock 2. And then DT4 is our alt DT. But it's going to be No Mod 5 from fiaee. This map also going to be pretty long, a little bit shorter than No Mod 1. CS7, this is actually an edit of a deleted Eprius map. So we went with CS7 here, despite the original map being a little bit lower. We're going to see a lot of linear and wide angle jumps on these CS7 patterns. There's some that are pretty difficult, pretty large spacing out of. But mostly just going to be a consistency test on CS7. Kind of similar to what we got in, I believe, round of 32? 64? Somewhere in there. There's also fairly low BPM. I think it's about 170.
Here we go, into the first kiai here.
You can see these linear and wide angle patterns. And khaurege going to be the first one to drop. fiaee going to trade that out, but was on a pretty decent stretch of combo lead, as well as the accuracy lead by about 5%. So has a nice buffer of about 60k score here, with the combos being reset. fiaee going to be feeling pretty comfortable so far. More of a free combo section here, as we're building up into the second kiai, where the spacing gets pretty big on some of these patterns, so we'll see if anyone can hold through that. That one's alright. That one's also alright, but I think there's a much harder one coming up. Yeah, that one's nasty. Khaurege just barely misses on that first note of the linear. fiaee holds through it very impressively. Does finally break on that square, but again, having held a little bit longer and with that accuracy lead, is going to have about 100k score lead here as we get into the last third of the map. Last quarter, really. It's going to be a pretty significant lead for fiaee. Going to be feeling pretty good about taking this one. There's one more hard section left. Alright, here we go. To the ending. Both players hit that first linear very well. But khaurege really needs to see a break out of fiaee. Unfortunately, that's not the one that they were looking for. It was a double break. So, lead is going to stay in fiaee's favor. Going to be trying to even up this match here. It's going to be at 3-4. I think even if khaurege held through that ending, it probably would not have been enough. The map is it's very light on density. It's going to be a 3 miss out of fiaee. Very impressive miscount, actually. And unsurprisingly, having lost that precision pick, khaurege is going to go straight for the last non-precision map of this pool. It's going to be DT4. So this is a kind of alt swingy DT. I think that this is as close as we've gotten to a standard DT4. Snap aim and alt patterns, some cut bursts and stuff like that. And it's about 170, 180 BPM, somewhere around there. So going to be a pretty familiar skill set here. 10.3 pick. There's probably, or we can probably see a hidden optional out of one of the players. Yeah, okay, it's gonna be on khaurege. So just keep that in mind. The score is not going to reflect the hidden multiplier being removed. So in the instance that it's going to be a close one, we'll just need to do a little bit of calculation at the end. Alright, here we go. So yeah, pretty standard snap alt DT here. But khaurege is gonna be the first one to drop. As we slowly build up into this first kiaee, fiaee going to be pulling ahead here. Khaurege breaks as soon as the first kiaee starts. Having a little bit of trouble perhaps on this AR. Fiaee does drop on that snap, or on that cut burst. A bit of an overtap there it seems, maybe a misread. But still in the lead. Khaurege with this recovery combo of about 200 is going to be slowly bringing that back. But unfortunately drops and is going to stay behind by about 50k, taking into account that hidden multiplier. fiaee kind of shredding this aim control. Yeah, khaurege struggling a little bit. Fiaee does finally drop, but again, still in the lead by a decently comfortable margin on a map like this. Khaurege really needs to hold this combo if they want to have any chance of bringing this one back. Probably needs to hold for a very significant amount of time. We get into the last break, the last third of the map, still down by over 60k here is khaurege. Still holding. Oh, their aim is just looking extremely snappy right now. Trying to do everything they can to hold on. And slider breaks on the... No! Oh, that's so unfortunate. I mean, fiaee was holding through that as well, so I don't know if it would have been enough. But with that break, it's definitely not going to be enough. fiaee going to be taking a break point here. Evening up the match once again. This has been very back and forth so far. They're going to cross over that 500k mark. Putting a pretty strong point right there. With only one miss, some slider breaks, but very impressive score. And with no hesitation, going to go straight for Hard Rock 2. One of the only maps left in the pool anyway. So, seeing how No Mod 5 went, it can be... I think it can be... It can be deduced that fiaee could take this without going to tiebreaker by winning on these remaining 2 precision maps here in Hard Rock 2 and DT3. But could definitely go to tiebreaker. A tiebreaker, we could see it. khaurege just needs one to secure that tiebreaker. Okay, so this map, Netaya, blatantly stolen from SRS from a couple weeks ago, is going to be a pretty aim-heavy precision map here. More of a standard aim than No Mod 5, which had a lot of that linear wide angle aim, but there is still some, I would say, some awkward aim elements to this map, but it's gonna be relatively standard in comparison. fiaee with the first drop. That is a big drop. If khaurege can hold on here. They're slowly building up that score lead as we get into this kiai. fiaee with a couple more misses. Khaurege finally does trade that out, but already in the lead by about 35k. They break on the exact same note. On some of these larger spacing jumps. fiaee with another break. Going to be a big moment for here khaurege, who does also drop, but this is a close one. I mean, you can really miss anywhere, so if fiaee is just able to put together a recovery combo, comeback could definitely happen as we get into the second half of the map. Oh, but over aims that stack. Khaurege holding on for just a little bit longer, extending that lead just a little bit more. It's looking like they're gonna make this a break point as we get into this last break here. They're gonna see the scores and the combos. Khaurege just needs to hold on a little bit in this last quarter of the map. This bit of a slow section to secure this point. And fiaee drops as soon as we get into the last kiai. That probably just seals it, despite khaurege breaking as well. Yeah, neither player really holding much combo anymore. That score lead of 50k or so is just not moving. Khaurege does manage to get over 400k here in this ending. Pretty solid score. This map is definitely difficult. And it's going to be taking that break point. And we're going to be playing our last map of the pool here, DT3. Oh, it's a double tap on a stack. That is very unlucky. Hate when that happens. Alright. So our last map here, DT3, is going to be Magia. CS6, AR7. More of a mixed skill set map compared to No Mod 5 and Hard Rock 2, so this one could be really taken by anyone here. Khaurege with the opportunity to take this last point, avoiding tiebreaker. fiaee trying to stay in this match just a little bit longer. Going to be trying to force that tiebreaker. Does find the early miss, but this is one of the other long maps in the pool, so should not be too much of an issue here. Not really expecting to see very many FCs on this map. We might see one or two, I think, but this is a pretty difficult map, in my opinion. So less of a precision test, only CS6, where the other two precision maps were a little bit higher, but more control and more dense, even some tapping as well. Anyway, So there was a break from Khaurege earlier, going to be giving fiaee the lead here. But goes a little bit too quickly on that triple. Is going to be giving the combo lead back to Khaurege. About a 30k score lead for fiaee, but closing in as Khaurege makes their way through this slower section here. About 200 combo in the lead. Oh, and Khaurege finally drops at the end of that kiai on that burst. fiaee does trade it out, but not before taking. Actually, I think fiaee already had the score lead. Sorry, but it is about 25k only to get into the second half of the map. And this map is brutal. The control and the constant aim, as well as the density of the map, really all just make this a very difficult map. Khaurege with another drop. fiaee almost made it through that entire bridge solo section without dropping. Finally does at the end. Going to be building up that score just a little bit more, and I think we might be looking at a tiebreaker. The score is only 40k in fiaee's favor, however. With some heroics out of Khaurege, they could close out this match right here. It all comes down to this last kiai. Both players holding so far. If fiaee were to drop, that would be absolutely catastrophe. But I think the end of the map is just a little bit... Yeah, no, that's going to be fiaee forcing tiebreaker. Alright, we've got Illusory Truth. Definitely a pretty well-known map by Toybot. Both players struggling with grip on that map. That map does destroy your grip. I won't lie. It's a grip map. And the very first match of quarterfinals going to tiebreaker is pretty crazy. These two have really been going back and forth, never going past one breakpoint in the lead or behind. Whatever happens, please carry Valeris and OWC. True, actually true. Khaurege has been really performing very well this match so far. Surely to be one of their star players in OWC coming up shortly. Alright, here we go. So if anyone doesn't know about this map, first of all, sick map, go play it. But it's going to be more of a flow tech. Lower BPM is 170 for the majority of the map. The ending does go up to 190. But, you know, in the vein of this tournament theme, it's going to be pretty light on the tapping. Nothing too strenuous. Gonna be more of a flow aim, slider consistency. Hopefully no one gets caught by these reverse sliders coming up in just a second here. fiaee actually does drop on this very first slider burst. So khaurege going to be taking that advantage, but seems to have a bit of a note lock there. I'm not sure exactly what that was. And does get caught by that first reverse slider. But seems to have the hang of them now. Actually, never mind. So it's gonna be a double break out of both players. As we get into this map, it's gonna be about a 10k score lead for khaurege from that earlier combo lead for a short while. Out of that slider section, going into the more flow aim section as we get through this quiet build up here. Players completely even on combo. Building up to this first kiai. The song is so epic. Shoutouts to Sad Keyboard Guy and Gardens. Alright, here we go. Nobody gets caught. And here we go. We're off in this first kiai section. A lot of spacing, a lot of sliders, jumps, space burst. Both players holding really strong. fiaee finds the first drop. khaurege going to be pushing this lead as far as they can. Hits that space burst as well. Hits a slider break, but it's going to be a double break traded by fiaee as we get into these difficult flow patterns. Gets caught moving a little bit too early there. khaurege finds that extra break, but fiaee going to trade that out on that wiggle stream. We're getting into this last third of the map where the difficulty just keeps ramping up. The BPM goes up. The spacing gets harder. This map is relentless. Both players struggling. fiaee with just the barest of combo leads as we get into the last quarter. Does drop 30k behind, needs to pull something together here in order to stay in the tournament. Both players hit that stream. khaurege, nope, never mind. Does find the first break though. Might have been I don't know exactly what I saw there. Might have been a Bancho thing, but is going to find a real miss. As we're getting into this ending, fiaee just needed to hold on, but is not able to. It's only 20k, less than 20k. We get into this faster section here, 190 BPM. And khaurege looks like they've done it. Holding through this section. fiaee finds that last drop, is traded out by khaurege, but that 20k score difference has just not changed in the slightest for the past minute and a half. And the map is beginning to wind down. I think khaurege has done it. What a crazy match. Well played on both parts. But khaurege is going to come out on top. Just barely beating out fiaee on this tiebreaker. Barely 20k. Trading breakpoints back and forth the whole match. Very well played on both sides. Congrats to Khaurege for moving on in the losers bracket. Going to be playing against the winner of Pra and Chang this weekend. fiaee unfortunately eliminated from the tournament. But does not seem too upset about this match. Had a good time at least, which is always the goal. What a crazy match that was.